It is time. And my mouth is working. I have to refresh myself. Killer's autopsy report. The professor. Courtney Stevens. That's not what I wanted to click. Courtney Scythe. I guess there were two different, like, autopsies that were performed. But there's two Courtneys. There he is, in all of his masked glory. TY Ricardo. Dude, this is like an actual, I was just to say double battle. Ryunosuke and Susato versus Barrack von Zeeks and his apprentice. Complexity of this case rise considerably. He's got a Dude. The way he moves. This is so harsh. Very good. I would hope so. If all parties are ready to proceed, you may begin. I got my iced coffee on me. He's got armor, I just noticed too. Yesterday at the Great Exhibition, I just realized, where's Van Zeke's cloak? Unknown person or persons. It was destroyed. Golly. There's still a hole. Enoch Trevor. A photographic print of the experimentation stage after it was completely leveled by a time bomb. The metal floor of the stage has been blown open by the explosion. A very different trial. As it stands now, with no evidence on which to draw meaningful conclusions, the authenticity of the Kinesis machine will remain forever in obscurity. Oh.
Objection!
Unequivocal innocence of the defendant. Let's go, Naruhodo. Enoch Drebber. Yep. Sounds accurate to me, MB Switchy. Hard to pin down. That's your occupation? $1900s too. As it ever will be, I imagine, MB Switchy. The accused super high voltage instantaneous kinesis demonstration, yes. But that's all. This guy is creeping me out. What? Nothing of the... So we only established the possibility of it actually happening, but not that it actually happened. That's what he's saying. Oh, God. Sometimes I feel like the more I consume Ace Attorney content, the more I think like I'm playing Ace Attorney. I try to be very deliberate and specific with what I say. It's fun. Maybe I'm just becoming a pseudo-intellectual or something. Some uncouth gentleman found it quite entertaining to commit the act of taking one's life, also known as murder, thus breaking the law. Absolutely. I met the young professor approximately 1 year ago through Mr. Esman's introduction. He provided me with the blueprints and I constructed the machine to its precise specifications. It was no trick. If the whole show was a fraud, it would have required a body double. Tell me, did the victim have a twin? All the spectators saw the birdcage appear above their heads and then crash headfirst into the crystal tower. A terrible accident, I grant you. Perhaps the science in which the machine was built was flawed somehow. To give the impression that something has moved when in reality it hasn't, it's a basic conjuring principle. I'm just admiring this guy's animations right now. Him being so rigid actually does kind of work with how still these models tend to move. Probably is. Probably is, MV Switchy. Actually able to accomplish what he claims. Namely, the construction of what by all accounts must have been an extremely complex scientific machine. My scientific knowledge more than matches that of any academic in the field. So he knows more about science than anyone else. Yep. Well, I may have sold the secrets of some deceptive wiles to sniveling tabloid scientists in the past. Deliberate act of murder carried out by misuse of the science. Oh. This is gonna be rough. Is that arm ticking back and forth like a clock? Like one, two, three. Wait. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, that speed is infrequent. Through Mr. Asman's introduction. The blueprints and I constructed the machine to its precise specifications. It was no trick.
Hold it!
We still have the bird cage. Not a lot left, but it is something. What? Did the victim have a twin? I'm gonna look at my evidence after this. Where is our evidence for that? Ria Nasake? El Diazman. I ain't seeing a twin here.
Objection!
The demonstration could have been a trick if there was somebody who looked sufficiently like the victim. But Dr. Saif absolutely ruled out that possibility. Right, Courtney ruled that out. The victim himself, Mr. Asman, did move from the stage to the Crystal Tower. It can't have been. This is interesting. The idea of someone who looked identical to the victim is playing on my mind.
Hold it!
Not in the slightest. He did not understand it. A very good... I agree, Susato. Yes. Now that the machine has been completely destroyed by yesterday's explosion, it's going to be impossible to argue its authenticity one way or the other. If we're unable to establish that it was a piece of stage trickery rather than genuine science, we will have no grounds on which to demonstrate Professor Hairbrain's innocence. Naivety. Naivety? Naivete? Naivete? Naivety? Naivety? With the machine destroyed, we cannot argue its authenticity one way or the other. So how do we demonstrate that that it was fake? I'm gonna keep pressing.
Hold it!
Name mentioned in the papers. Head first. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. If this is the head, and this is the bottom. I found that contradiction. That is true. We do not know which injury was fatal. It's hard to deny. All the spectators saw the birdcage appear above their heads and then crash headfirst into the crystal tower. The birdcage, however, if the head is supposed to be the top should be damaged, but it's the bottom that's damaged.
Objection.
We've examined the birdcage that crashed into the crystal tower ourselves. The cage, which is a wooden construction, has sustained damage in one particular spot. The damage itself is entirely understandable. What doesn't make sense is the location of that damage. The base of the birdcage, not the top. He's sweating now. That's right, my lord. Damage at its base. So we have reports of the birdcage falling headlong into the crystal tower, yet the damage is at the bottom. The only way to reconcile these two facts is to accept that there were two birdcages in play that day, which were at some point switched. Yeah. How do you highlight only... I'm not gonna get an answer for that.
Objection.
Approximately 18 meters. 30 feet into the crystal tower in the ensuing... "60 feet above ground level, 18 meters. Falls from 30 feet. Is Susanoo going to mention it being 9 meters?
Objection. Objection.
You would have to say it was only one vertebra. Nani? Yeah, only one broken vertebra. I find it hard to see what's motivating Lord Van Zeeks. This witness is clearly a swindler, and one who deceived a personal friend of his. If you're going to establish this deception, do it right. That's the undertone here. Nearly had him. What? Okay. The kinesis clearly took place because there's nowhere else 30 feet high for the birdcage to have fallen from.
Hold it!
Yes. $60 feet. There were balloons in the sky. At altitude of 60 feet, the point of impact from the tower was 30 feet up. There you go. This doesn't show the crystal tower, unfortunately. But there's balloon. Mm-hmm. The kinesis clearly took place because there's nowhere else 30 feet high for the birdcage to have fallen from. Any ideas, Susato? Doesn't look like there's anything new here. Alright then. There's nowhere else 30 feet high for the birdcage to have fallen from. That is what he is saying. There's nowhere else 30 feet high for the birdcage to have fallen from. Well... There's this balloon. Let me look at this one more time here. The balloon that exploded was at an altitude of 60 feet. The point of impact on the tower was 30 feet up. Hello, Sean. Nice Olimar, PFP. The victim was alive on stage in front of the audience. Lots of witnesses who saw Mr. Asman on the experimentation stage. That is true. The victim's neck broke as a result from an impact following a fall. Yeah, he crashed. The victim must have fallen from somewhere. The birdcage fell a total of 30 feet. And the balloon that exploded was 60 feet. Whereas the plane of impact from the tower is 30 feet up. Huh? My brain is turning into mush. If the balloon was here, and you'd fall here, and this thing went up here. Alright. I guess if I want to make progress, I've got to take a shot somewhere.
Objection.
That is wrong. Would you care to mull over precisely what you find odd about it on your return journey to Japan? Rest assured, we should be happy to carry proceedings forward in your absence. Dang! Okay. That's wrong. The kinesis clearly took place because there's nowhere else 30 feet high for the birdcage to have fallen from. Where else could it have fallen from, then? If the photograph of the balloon is incorrect, then where else could it have fallen from? Nothing else here I can see. Nothing here. We already examined the camera. Screwdriver. I'm trying to figure that out. If you're trying to give me a hint, by the way, Sean, I would appreciate not being given any. I'm trying to figure this out myself. If it's not the balloon... One, two, Will the experiment sketch work then? Cause that's about 30 feet up from the sky too.
Objection.
This is a diagram of the experimentation stage and its surroundings. Yes. You notice somehow the birdcage appeared in midair before falling down into the crystal tower. A fall of about 30 feet, or 9 meters. However, if you examine the diagram carefully, you'll see that there is one other possible location from which the birdcage could have fallen. The same distance of 30 feet. Yeah. No! What do you mean, no? Isn't this your friend I'm defending here? Alrighty then. Wait, what? I was thinking it'd be like higher up. I can't point at it. Huh? Wait, no. What? I thought it would be over here. Where? What? Oh no. Okay. Well. I thought this was a balloon that... Now I don't know.
Take that! Objection!
If that's my learned friend's claim, I suggest he demonstrates for the court. Personally. I can only imagine. Don't give me recourse to make the next fall from 60 feet up. Wait a minute. If the base is broken... If this is 30 feet from the top, and oh, I feel stupid. Okay, I think I understand it now. If the trap door, cause it opened, it could have fallen to the bottom here. I think, because if it's this hollow, okay, I'm gonna hope that this is.
Take that!
What?
Objection!
Am I missing something? Okay, now I'm worried. Let me look at this again. Because if it broke here. But the implication, though, is that he fell on his head. If he fell on his head, then it'd be the head that was destroyed. So would it be here?
Take that!
Okay. Shoot. But that's... Yes. That's what I was driving at. Well, we must also consider is the height of the stage itself. The experimentation stage was built at a considerable height above ground. Yeah. You'll see it's about the same height above the ground as the balloon was above the crash site. When the experiment got underway, the machine and the birdcage were engulfed in steam. At that moment, the floor of the stage gave way, a void underneath. This birdcage and the one seen by the audience. That is what I wanted to say. Yes.
Objection!
My learned friend. Yes. Yep. Mr. Driver, it was you who built the kinesis machine. Ugh. Yeah. By you. Yes.
Objection!
He looks funny from the back when he's tilting his head. I had to look at that animation. Like a cobra. Two counts, huh? Firstly, before and after the experiment, this witness went nowhere near the kinesis machine. This witness went nowhere near the kinesis machine. In other words, Mr. Jebber had no opportunity to switch the alleged pair of bird cages.
Objection!
Unequivocal on that point. A motive. Unfortunately, in this series, yes. A contract. The contract into which Mr. Jebber entered into the victim, Mr. Asman. Mr. Jebber is to receive 30% of all remunerations from government grants or other income. Mr. Jebber may only uphold this right on condition that both contracting parties are alive. The diametric opposite, in fact. Is nil. That sucks. Well, time to look over that contract. That's what lawyers do. The investor, Mr. Odiasman, hereby enters into contract with the provider, Mr. Enoch Drebber, to fund labor and materials for the construction of a super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. There is their signatures. If they're one and the same, then yeah, this would be null and void. Government grants or other income. It's the birdcage itself and how it was damaged, right?
Objection.
I'll be the judge of that. I think it's abundantly clear that the same applies to the culprits. An accomplice?
Objection.
Who would that accomplice be? Let me take some time to think about who the accomplice could be, and then... In all likelihood, it could be Hairbrain. Just not knowingly. This boat... No, that's silly. Okay. What did Susato say about I'm going in even when I don't know. All I know is that Susato would say to push forward. Hemorrhage of a wound to the chest that pierced the heart, inflicted by a sharp implement. The cause of death was still a sharp object. But that inconsistency itself is a clue. Who do you claim to have been Mr. Jebber's accomplice? Let me look over this again. The pressure is on. Yeah, now we know there must have been two. It is unbelievable that you had no hand in the events that transpired. So... what's my stance going to be? Somehow, the two bird cages must have been switched. Somehow, they must have been switched. If you didn't switch them, my first thought is that it could possibly be Albert, but at the same time, like, would it be like an unwitting accomplice, in which case he wasn't aware what he was doing? And I doubt that it'd be odious, man. Because why would he be an accomplice for his own death? My head hurts. Okay, think about this. It could not have been you, because you have a motive. Not motive. You have an alibi. So you're out. I have no idea why it would be you. You were nowhere at all in that area. So you three can be ignored. I'm honestly thinking that it might be Miss Scythe. Because she was responsible for the autopsy report. If she's the coroner behind it, then it's also possible then that she could have faked it. And that's the only one that comes to mind. I can't think of it being anyone else but Courtney. Scotland Yard's coroner, leader of the forensic team investigation team, and one of Lord Strongheart's most trusted allies. Right now I'm thinking it's either Courtney or Balthazar, because he makes the balloons. I hate having only two lives. No one on this page I can see being the accomplice, though. It being Balthazar Loon would make some sense, though. Because if the balloon is because if the balloon is getting hit by an arrow, and it being green means you know which to aim for. All of his balloons are blue with a red stripe, yeah. But one of his balloons was green. Hello, Punawit. The balloons above the experimentation stage all belong to this man. Alright, I got a hunch.
Take that!
What do you mean, who is this person? You saw him just yesterday. You surely would. How is. I have so little to go off of here. There's no other explanation. Okay. So that was wrong. I have no idea how that was wrong. A photographic print of the experimentation stage after it was leveled, but okay, yeah. Okay, now I am not sure. Look over the history again. Make my position clear as a lawyer. According to the coroner's report, that's not a possibility, but that inconsistency itself is a clue. Okay, well. If I'm wrong, well, Hairbrain, I guess you ran out of luck.
Take that!
What's wrong? Of course I'm afraid. Susato, you're too optimistic. Culture. Alright then. We personally colluded with Mr. Jabbery in order to carry out this wicked crime in Scotland Yard's coroner. My god. Dr. Scythe? Yeah. I envy Susato's optimism. I really do. Okay, this makes sense. I guess. Summoning his scythe. You've got a nerve, lad. The East End at night. What? Alright, well. Oh my word. Yeah, that is the question we need to answer. Wait a minute! Waxworks! Do I name someone? Or present evidence? I'm thinking if I could present Madame Tuspel's. I'm gonna name someone here, and I hope that I hope there's just multiple ways I could go about this. Very well. The defense will address my learned friend's concerns. Wait, what? I didn't want to present a person, I didn't want to present the person who was actually the body double. Oh, heck. Oh, I am screwed. Oh my god. I am freaking screwed. Oh my god. My eye is twitching. You only have 100 options, and they're all wrong! Oh my god. Well, I better put forth at least the best option I could come up with, whatever that is. Oh my god. No one dead or alive who could have fulfilled the role of a body double for Mr. Asman. What can I do to reveal how this body double stunt was achieved? The body double and the birdcage were hiding inside the balloon that was floating above the stage. The body double and the birdcage were hiding inside the balloon that was floating above the stage. Oh my god. Okay. Hiding inside the balloon. So who was it that appeared out of that explosion some 18 meters above the spectators? I don't know. I really don't know. Look at that chin. You're 35. You're 47. But your hair is different. Uh, at this point, I think I need to just go with Enoch himself. No one else would be like everyone else is a bad option as far as I'm concerned. Albert has an alibi. He couldn't have been it. Odie is dead. You four have absolutely no relevance to this. Wait a minute. I'm getting a very peculiar thought. But the masked man has an alibi, doesn't he? He's been with Barrick Van Zix the entire time. In place of Aspen in the second birdcage was... Do I go with the masked man or Enoch? An apprentice of Lord Van Zix, whose face is always covered by a mask. He has the air of a completely unassailable man. If we are to believe that Enoch was at the scene of the crime, which he'd have to be because we saw the bow and arrow. Alright, you know what? I'm not gonna double guess myself. If it's not Enoch, I'll just lose.
Take that!
God dang it, I'm wrong. I'm sorry, Mr. Naruto. I feel dumb. No. I have never. That's the first I actually have ever seen Naruhodo try to beg for more time after running out of credibility. Well, I guess we'll get to hear at least what the jurors sound like now.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty!
Kill me.
Should have chose the masked man. God, this was unfortunate. My logic has betrayed me. Again. Well, I'm trying that again anyway. Apparently that could have been wrong just entirely. I'm gonna present evidence then. If I had known that's what it would have been like, I would have just went for the evidence. It'd have to be the waxwork head. Or not. I mean, it doesn't look anything like it, but... The whole point is that we're supposed to, like, show that it could have been... inside. Well, yes, that's true. I will hold that L with pride, Sean. Frankly, I think I just may go with the helmet, because I'm hoping that I can like talk about body doubles with it. Well, I'm gonna try it.
Take that!
Yes. That was wrong too. I would hope not. As I was saying, the body double inside the second birdcage was. That thing there. Wait, what is that doing in the courtroom?
Objection!
Open your eyes and look at the mind of Benny's. What are you playing at? This is a waxwork model. What noodle clap?
Objection!
What possible justification can you give? What? You return it to the museum. I couldn't see why Mr. Jumper put a soul in the waxwork and didn't give it back again. Yeah, I don't know. Are you hearing this, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Vast machine with the intention of deceiving some wretched scientist.
Objection!
Wet noodle clap. Well, it's time for a summonation exam, I'm guessing.
Guilty! 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 Guilty!
Guilty!
Kill me!
Again with this. We shall get through this, as we always do. Oh, we didn't even have to ask this time. Judicial findings. Oh, we're starting with the 6. No rigorous proof that this waxwork was ever inside the birdcage is conjecture. Polarized opinion. That's not even what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring up the possibility that it was a waxwork. I'm thinking that everyone here is dumb, except for us two. A specific reason for it being this small. Okay, now I'm lost. I just like the police, therefore Hairbrain definitely did it. Yep, that's what it sums up to, it looks like. So Sean, how many of the Ace Attorney games have you played? I think this and the Great Ace Attorney games are actually my first. It's been really fun though. I've known that woman for years. She'd never be accomplished to anything. Let's just start from the first.
Hold it!
Cool. It was evidence arising from her work that led to the arrest of the scoundrel responsible. Yeah, you can, Tuts. Dr. Scythe in charge of examining the bodies. Quite simply because that unsettling swindler has no relationship with a woman, does he? If you say so. Even if you don't want to. No comment. Wait, what did she say? Hold on. Demonstrating some connection between the waxwork and Dr. Scythe would be enough. The waxwork and Dr. Scythe.
Hold it!
No. Obviously, artists such as myself cannot appear on stage as we work in close proximity to our audiences.
Not in my day.
Excuse me. Mr. Automol? What? If only Tumblr no. That's Tumblr. I don't think I can actually say anything good about Tumblr. Wait, what? Mr. Ottermole. Is Ottermole in my in here? Hold on, I wanted to see if there's any evidence. No, I don't know. I may just be forgetting something. Oh. Got it, okay. This guy must have been the napper.
Hold it!
Wait, Stevens? Maiden name. Stevens. Scythe.
Hold it!
I'm guessing what offended him was the was. A legendary corridor even then. You can't gaslight someone when they can read the dialogue from earlier. Thieves take her general position. Interesting.
Hold it!
My iced coffee is now run out. Evidence that the Professor Waxwork was inside that bird cage. Nope.
Hold it!
She was hungry. This is fascinating. By a cup of corn. What a life. Amazing. Do we have any evidence that would suggest that? Okie dokie. That Jonathan Wild thing you mentioned. Now that's inspirational. Mm-hmm. I've had my own problems with the members of the police. I do not trust them much. A legendary coroner even then. It's utter nonsense to think those two could ever be connected with each other. It's kind of vague. Let me press it again.
Hold it!
Oh. A Scotland yardstick. Well, that's one heck of a hint to be given. Police officer hearing police words that are not the best.
Objection!
I guess that was bad. Is that so? Jeez. So that was wrong. I get that now, I guess. But again, I'm trying to avoid hints if possible. But I guess either way, I was wrong. So I gotta figure something else out to try. Do I have anything to prove then that the waxwork was in the bird cage? I don't. Okay, yeah. This is not going very well. No, there can't be anything on this trophy. No. It's utter nonsense to think those two could whatever be connected with each with one another. Um. We already have juror number 6's opinion. But surely the waxwork of the man's soul is like nothing to do with the coroner, is it? What evidence could I possibly have for you? Think, Aaron, think. A sharp implement, a broken vertebra, most likely resulting from impact after a sudden fall from considerable height. God. I've seen no rigorous proof that this waxwork was ever inside the birdcage. It's conjecture. I'm gonna have to... What evidence could we present? No. Hmm. We have no idea how this camera is supposed to fit into this, though. I actually am. I'm actually stumped. Why would you use this and nothing else? Why would you use the wax this waxwork in particular? Am I missing anything? No. Think. Why would you use a waxwork that looked absolutely nothing like the victim? What would it accomplish? Do we have evidence that the Professor Waxwork was inside that birdcage? That couldn't be it, right? No. Uh, hmm. The thing here. I didn't even click anything. How did it get off the game? Whatever. Uh, poking through the floor of the kinesis machine. This is really hard. I don't have any evidence I'm confident in. I don't feel comfortable presenting any evidence because I don't have anything I know I feel would actually even come close. Surely the waxwork the man stole has something to do with the coroner, is it? It's utter nonsense to think those two can connive with one another. But surely the waxwork the man stole has something to do with the coroner, is it? It's utter nonsense to think those two could whatever be conniving with one another. I feel like juror number 3 is important for this. I've had my own problems with the members of the police. I do not trust them much. Let me go for pesting him again. It was Dr. Scythe in charge of examining the bodies. So you have a lot of trust in the police, and you don't trust them much. Well, I'm not going to get anywhere if I don't take any risks, so let's try this.
Objection.
That was wrong. Okay, that's wrong. Surely the waxwork the man stole has something to do with the coroner, is it? What did she have to say again?
Hold it.
Romantic. Defendant and the coroner woman. Demonstrating some connection between the waxwork and Dr. Scythe would be enough. A connection between the waxwork and Dr. Scythe.
Hold it.
Just go. Just go. I don't care. Okay, yeah, doesn't do me anything here. The waxwork the man stole has something to do with the coroner, is it?
Hold it.
That was the wrong button. I'll be back. I have to go to the bathroom. Okay. Back to the game then. Alright. I do not trust them much. How do we prove it was ever in the birdcage to begin with? I have had my own problems with members of the police. I do not trust them much. I do not trust them much. Just press her again. Nibble, nobble, guilty, bobble, nibble, not guilty out. I know that Scythe made the, I know that Courtney was behind the, Topsy behind the professor. But that's all I've got. And I know that also, of course, the professor was the body double that we're on the track of trying to prove. But that doesn't really do anything for juror number 4. The head of the Professor Waxwork that was loaded from the Man and Decibel special exhibit. And then you have this. Is it supposed to be that the professor was the body that was possible to take? You know what? I'll let the gamble here. Oh. Hold on, I'm not looking at the chat right now. I'm probably gonna get this one wrong regardless because I don't have any, if you don't know. Screw it.
Take that!
I'm gonna go ahead. How about after that? Hold on a second. I'm an idiot. I just realized. Susato brought something up to my attention I completely forgot to think about. There was a big chunk of glass in the Professor Waxwork.
Take that!
I don't know what your hint is talking about, Sean, but this finally came to my mind after Susato gave me a hint. I feel stupid. I might be stupid. When's a small piece originated? Is that it? Okay. The presence of that piece of glass leaves me in little doubt that the waxwork was indeed inside that bird cage.
Hold it!
Well, I'll press you then. Honestly. Well, that was that at least. So we know the waxwork was indeed inside the bird cage. Okay. Susato, you have too much faith in me. So the presence of that piece of glass leaves me in little doubt that the waxwork was indeed inside the bird cage. Alright. I'm just looking at this animation right now. Oh, wow. The presence of that piece of glass leaves me in little doubt that the waxwork was indeed inside that birdcage. So, juror number 2 is doubting that the waxwork had anything to do with the coroner. And juror number 4 now understands that the waxwork wasn't the birdcage. How is that tied to the coroner? The presence of that piece of glass leaves me in little doubt that the waxwork was indeed inside the birdcage.
Objection.
No. Bear with me, everyone. I am trying my hardest. My hardest is just really freaking soft. You know what? Maybe I should just press again now that I have more information. And just see if there's anything else that comes up.
Hold it.
Okay, Miss Shipper. Then demonstrating some connection between the waxwork and Dr. Syfe would be enough. I don't know how I would do that without talking about, bringing up the waxwork itself. Well, the professor. If I could present evidence, I would.
Hold it.
I'm actually guessing to go back.
Hold it.
Yes, yes. Okay, well. I made a mistake. Susato tries to make it sound so easy, and I'm freaking choking. I also love that fact. It makes things so much more interesting. It's other nonsense to think those two would ever be connected with each other. I tried, like, pitting jurors number 1 and 3 against each other already, and that got me nowhere. The presence of that whack piece of glass leaves me a little doubt that the waxwork was... So, jurors number 1 brings up that Dr. Scythe was the one behind some crimes being solved. Juror number 2 is talking about how wasn't she talking about how Witch even managed to get the she was talking about relationships, I know that much. How would she even get the freaking waxwork? Juror number 3 just doesn't trust the police. But we already pursued that hint. And we have you taken care of for now. And then juror number 5 is a dead end. But surely the waxwork the man stole has nothing to do with the coroner, is it? The waxwork the man stole has nothing to do with the coroner, is it? It's not a proper job, is he? I won't have it. So forget jurors number 5, and I don't know what else. You wouldn't use that name if they were still alive. She was Corty Stevens back when I knew her, of course. A legendary coroner even then. This is most troubling, but surely the waxwork the man stole has nothing to do with the coroner, is it? My head hurts, man. It really does. Juror number 6 knew of Courtney Stevens before, and juror number 2 actually does have some interest in relationships.
Hold it!
The defendant and this coroner woman. Hairbrain and Scythe. I'm thinking about 6 and 2. I'm gonna risk it.
Objection!
I don't. Okay. What can you do? Is Rothelite the maiden name of the coroner, Dr. Scythe? Which in turn has revealed a connection that wasn't apparent before. Oh, don't worry, Joe number 2. I'm right in the same boat with you. How utterly enthralling. The evidence that clearly links Dr. Scythe to the mass murderer known as the Professor. It better be this freaking autopsy report. Pseudonym, the Professor, Courtney Stevens.
Take that!
A 10-year-old autopsy report. Capital offender, so... Few details. Yeah, we got bailed out hard by Gregson. Strike a light. Strike a light. Okay. Heart of a link we have yet to uncover. Okay. Dang. Quite right. Well, 2 for 6. But we still gotta get 2 more convinced.
Hold it!
Let's do some more pressing, I guess.
Hold it!
That's irrelevant now.
Hold it!
Yes, thanks, science. Yeah, there's just no... Okay. It's utter nonsense to think those two would ever be conniving with one another. Well, with juror number 2, she already mentioned that there is a link. But we can't point to her anymore. Yeah, they're just removed from the pool. It's utter nonsense to think those two ever be conniving with one another. Do I want to pit 1 and 4 now? The presence of that piece of glass leaves me in little doubt that the waxwork was indeed inside that birdcage. So 1 and 5 would agree with each other. And we've already tried 1 and 3. I might be wrong, but
Objection!
dead wrong. Okay. I went from having 0 guilty verdicts on day 1 to 2 guilty verdicts on day 2. That's tied with my Case 5 Game 1 record. And that is very concerning.
Guilty! Guilty! Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Kill me!
We are not gaming, everyone. The game is over. See, this is why it's a good thing I did not get into law, because You're not even at the hard part? Oh, God. Retry. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. It undoes all the progress I've made up to now.
Hold it!
I never knew that, actually. This is the first I've ever had a game over during a summonation exam. I wonder what the point of that actually is. No, I remember what to do.
Take that!
But I'm like, wow, that's surprising. You know what? Because I actually have, I never actually had a chance to, I never actually did press what the sixth juror had said before he changed his dialogue.
Hold it!
Yeah. The fact that it's not if you're bending the rules. Where do I start? Dr. Scythe, you mean? Full of them. I don't know what Vim is, but I'm not gonna act like I care all that much either.
Hold it! Not in my day.
Not in your day. Okay.
Excuse me.
Mr. Honorable. Thanks, Mr. Sholmes. Clearly you do.
Hold it!
Courtney Stevens, yes. Alright. I pit you with her.
Objection.
And we're caught up. Okay, we're not quite caught up yet.
Take that.
Now we're caught up. Look at that wax work, too. Uh-huh. The name of the coroner who wrote it. Well, one, and two. Now, hopefully I can actually get the right answer from here on out, because my god. The presence of that glass leaves. Do I dare? You know something I'm thinking about? Pitting jurors 4 and 5 may not be a bad idea. Because juror number 5 believes in superstition, and juror number 4 believes in science. The presence of that. I'm gonna.
Objection.
Apparently that was correct. If you could put down your coin for a moment, jurors number 5. You pointed that it's wrong to make an accusation without evidence. Is that right? Colonel Cobb. Of course you don't. What do you have to say, juror number 4? Please do, sir. Okay, we've got him on our side now, too. Me too, then. Huh? I am sad. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm slow. It's always the new dialogue, yeah. The truth, sir. Oh! Test spells. I was about to say Rosalina. Yes. It's always moments before the checkpoint that I always seem to lose. To be continued. Heck, I'm probably gonna keep going. My mom is calling. Oh, there's a lot left to go, you're saying, Sean? Joy. If there's any more checkpoints after now, well, I don't know, it's already been about 3 hours. So I actually don't know if we should continue or not. Heck it, I want to keep playing to see what happens next. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. If it's as hard as you're saying it is anyway, then I probably won't finish if I next time I stream this if I stop now. Oh, I forgot about you, Horrorlog. I have to ask. Hairbrain, I don't know. He. But you and Van Zeeks are connected. I keep hitting my microphone. You. Ten-year-old autopsy report from Greg. Really? So no information from her. Even a shadow of doubt about the truth. I am concerned. I am very concerned. 24th of October, 12:40 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. This is way more complicated than the last case with Natsumi. Damaging incident at the Great Exhibition. You subpoenaed test bells, I imagine. Not at all. at once. Yo, check that out. My name is Madame Esmeralda Tespez, waxwork artisan. Who is that supposed to be? We believe it had been kidnapped. Yeah, this is gonna be hard. This is absurd. Summarily executed. Tawdry? Quel dommage. The French Revolution. Yeah, that sounds accurate to me. This is ludicrous. The Professor Waxwork. And there's Enoch. The 10-year-old article has been entered into the court record. A newspaper article recounting the tale of an eyewitness to the alleged resurrection of the professor from his grave on the night of his execution. Nothing to examine here. I know, right? Oh, there's that camera, too. Mad Sheep Rampage. Charles Darwin to receive Copley Medal. The Great Stink. Lustabal Masqué to blame for the Great Blaze. Krakatoa Eruption. Oh, Asman. This was signed? Mencia, yeah. That is correct. This waxwork links Jabber to the site. So this will be interesting.
Hold it!
Gunshot. Could this be a bullet wound? But no, there's... That is true. Okay.
Hold it!
No! Alright, this is the aid of the Gravedigger and created a mold for the head of the cemetery.
Hold it!
Uh... Rigor mortis. Susato having a dictionary is very much appreciated right now. Oh, that's fascinating. That's pretty dang significant to me. You know what? I cannot help but smile at that pun.
Hold it!
Maybe later. I'll do my very best.
Hold it!
Midnight. So the summer solstice. Oh, that's Shones. I'll wait for now. If that's really true, then the professor is the only one other thing we know of that links a pair of them. Maybe I should press for that after all.
Hold it!
Oh, I just hold the button and that does it. I hurried to finish my work in the half hour before sunrise. Then I left as soon as the corpse was interred.
Hold it!
Probably not. That's really fast. It was before the onset of rigor mortis. If the death happened at midnight, and rigor mortis, if the death happened at midnight, and rigor mortis takes place 3 hours after the fact, But it took you longer than you expected it to happen. It was before the onset of rigor mortis. If it was before the onset of rigor mortis, then it had to be before 3 o'clock happened. I don't understand. Well, if death happened at midnight, it would take some time for the professor to be buried. "4:40 in the morning."
Hold it!
How could it have been before the onset of rigor mortis? Knowing that death happened at midnight makes this kind of hard for me to believe. Because midnight is 12 o'clock. Do I dare? It took me a very long time because it was before the onset of rigor mortis. If rigor mortis takes place 3 hours after death,
Objection!
uh-huh. Yes. Quoi? According to her testimony, Madame Tespel was creating her wax impression just before dawn, and at that time, rigor mortis had not yet set in. Yeah, right? Just before dawn. You are, yes. 2 to 3 hours after death. Death by hanging confirmed at midnight. No. What? This report is wrong.
Objection!
By heck. So ordered.
Objection!
Okay. What is that fact? No one's gonna argue against that. You'd have 4 hours and 40 minutes to die. Wait, what's happened? Are you insane? Dr. Seif, the professor, and the one other person of Yeah! The evidence that allegedly explains what really happened on the night of the professor's execution. That 10-year-old article where he came out of the grave.
Take that!
You're suggesting he was a corpse coming back. Not if he wasn't dead. And was killed again. That's so... That is so crazy. Are you serious? There was a witness to what happened. Enoch Drebber.
Objection!
The man made it all up.
Objection!
On the contrary, my lord. You will substantiate your latest claim now then, counsel. You.
Take that!
Dropper. with black, no, brown hair. Order. Drebber was there. She doesn't know? Perpetrated by the very same man. Hmm? The theft of the professor wax work. Oui. Hmm. Of course. The Daily Circus. What a name. So, this 10-year-old article... You see the Daily Circus at the top. Mr. Drebber's dreadful encounter. Yeah, here it is. Mr. Enoch Drebber. When I read the article, I went to Booth Man. Wow. So, 10 years ago, a young man appealed to the public about an extraordinary event he'd witnessed. A criminal who had been put to death, re-emerging from his grave in the middle of the night. But the public treated his claim as nothing more than an amusing anecdote that was soon forgotten. 10 years later, the same man steals a waxwork model of the executed criminal, ostensibly to use as a body double for the victim in the case we're discussing here today. Even though the waxwork's build is a poor match for the victim, and its face is obscured by a mask, So the question is, why would the man do such a thing? Which brings us to 3 days ago when the birdcage crashed into the Crystal Tower. If the birdcage had in fact contained not the body of Mr. Asman, but that same waxwork, the coroner from Scotland Yard who investigated Dr. Scythe would have noticed immediately. So Drebber used that waxwork as a body double to expose a lie? Yeah. I remember. For the instructions of that missive to be scrapped. Hmm?
Objection!
Me.
Van Zeeks wants to know the truth. Alright then. Alright, maybe I'll stop for now. Because apparently there's going to be a lot more to come anyway. And I don't think there's going to be a checkpoint anytime soon. I'm sorry for the abrupt ending. I gotta go. But I'll see y'all later.